You are listening to the Your Empty Nest Coach podcast with Coach Christine. Episode number 100. Lessons learned, advice I'm glad I took or wish I had taken. I work with mothers of high school students and beyond who are in the trenches with sad and possibly overwhelming thoughts about what their life will look like when their baby heads to college and begins to leave the nest. My client's big question is, what will I do with my time? Is this you? I've been there and I get it. Empowering you to write the next jaw-dropping, amazing chapter in your life is my passion. I am energized by leading you in the process of exploration and am thrilled when you unlock the power that lies within you. This podcast is my gift to you. Hello, my empty nest friend and CEO of your life. How are you doing today? I am super excited to have this celebration with you today. You know how I like to celebrate things. And while I certainly don't need a party or anything like that, I need to just stop and celebrate the fact that I have consistently put out podcast episodes. I have stayed true to future Christine, and I've made it here to 100, which isn't always the case with podcasts. There's a lot of pod fading going on, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we get started, a quick reminder that if you find yourself talking back to me at any part of this episode, or if something resonates with you, or if you have a quick tip to share with my audience, please take the opportunity to leave me audio feedback either through SpeakPipe or my Google Voice number. You'll find the information to do this in the description of this episode. On Apple Podcasts, click Details. On Spotify, click See More. On Overcast, press the I for Information button. Get the idea? Of course, I always have full show notes with links to anything I discuss in the episode and a full episode transcription on my website. Those reside at youremptynestcoach.com/P for podcast and 100 for this episode's number. I still can't believe it's 100. Woohoo! I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks. Thank you. It's time to thank our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by my membership community, the GPS Support Flock, your flight to success in the empty nest. If you are ready to find the GPS of your life, sign up to receive an immediate and free download of my PDF, How to Find Yourself in the Empty Nest, our GPS Life Principles document. You will also have the opportunity to learn about our community. See the link in this episode's show notes or fly on over to my website, youremptynestcoach.com. Click the GPS Support Flock button. See you soon. I would like to formally welcome Kay Sohn, Pre-Cure Me Health Coach in the USA, into our GPS Support Flock membership program. We are incredibly excited that you joined the flock and look forward to your flight to success. I had a bunch of ideas on what to do with this episode and landed on doing a lessons learned topic to share with you some things that I've learned since starting this podcast and a couple other areas of my life. It's a nice time for reflection for me, and while they all may not apply directly to you, sometimes you never know what small bit of life sharing will resonate with you. I'm going to give you 4 lessons learned in 3 areas: podcasting, business, and life. First up is podcasting. Number 1, your first episode won't be your best. Not even close. If you are looking to podcast, please know going in that no one is happy with their first episode. You'll want to redo your early episodes if you go back and listen to them. Just be prepared for that. And remember that done is better than perfection. Meaning if you're waiting for perfection, or if I had been waiting for perfection, I honestly wouldn't have an episode out at all. And here I am at 100. So just do it. Jump in and learn as you go. And if you don't believe me and you listen to a podcast of anybody and they're in over 100 episodes, go back and listen to their first one and see the difference. Number 2 under podcasting, 100 episodes is a big deal. And you're going to have a different voice at episode 100 than you did in episode 1. So do you know that most podcasters don't make it past 7 episodes due to pod fading? For real. And once the excitement wears off, there is a whole lot of steps that go into every single episode, and you get very little feedback. I've mentioned this before in my episodes that podcasting can be quite lonely. It isn't like we have an audience right in front of us where we hear them cry, boo, cheer, laugh, and provide any feedback whatsoever. So only a few gem of a humans who create reviews for us or who give us a shout out on social media. That's really the only way that we get feedback. So no going in if you're a person who needs a lot of feedback. Podcasting might not be the best place for you, at least not initially until you build that audience. So as I said, hitting 100 episodes is a big deal. If most don't make it past 7, you get to 25, 50, and then 100, that's a really big deal. Milestones are important. I remember someone said, I feel like it was Jess and Elsie on She Podcasts, that they said that most podcasters don't find their voice and get comfortable until episode 100. And I believe this. I've tried things. I've had new equipment, tried scripted, not scripted, guests, more guests, no guests. And it really isn't until now that I feel comfortable enough to hit record and not feel completely anxious every time. So the anxiety's gone. I'm definitely more me. I'm more comfortable behind the mic. And I'm more willing to just try new things. Change it up. Super fun. Number 3 under podcasting, your show is your show. And I share this with you because I often see in some of the podcasting Facebook groups, people will be like, hey, I don't know what to do. I'm not feeling it anymore. I think I want to change my topic, or I don't want to have my podcast be weekly anymore. Your show is your show. You can do whatever you want. That is the beauty of being, well, I guess specifically independent podcasters. We can do whatever we want. For a personality like mine, who I really like creative freedoms, I like somebody to give me a project and let me run with it. I love podcasting. I love being an independent podcaster where I have full creative control over my show, whatever that means to me. Not only what it means today, but what it means to me tomorrow, what it meant to me yesterday. And those all 3 things can look different. I love that. It's so worth the work. So while yes, it is a lot of work, with your show being your show, you have complete control to change it when you want to or need to. And this is what I love most about podcasting. You sharing your voice with the world. With guests, without guests, with sponsors, without sponsors, you can make it what you want. And you can change it 400 times if you want. Sure, people might get annoyed, but it's a free podcast. Get over it. Really? People love to complain about free stuff, don't they? Anyway, it's your show. And that is what I love about podcasting. I love it so much. So fun. Okay, and my final podcasting item is bad reviews are a milestone. And this is really important if you are about to embark onto podcasting, or if you just started, or if you have a bunch of bad reviews. Remember, what this means is it's no longer only your friends and family listening to your show. You're actually getting out there. Now, sure, you are going to have trolly people who say something about your giggle or your laugh that is just ridiculous, especially women podcasters. We get stuff about our voices all of the time. But sometimes those reviews are helpful. They'll say something about your audio quality or give you an idea. So take them all with a grain of salt and remember that it means it's not just your friends and family listening. Woohoo! My next topic is starting a business and having future you in mind. So number 1, be in it for the long haul. I'm really serious about this. So when you come up with an idea for future you, and maybe it's a business, maybe it's a huge project, I want you to take the amount of time that you think it will take you to reach that goal. Then I want you to double it again, and then triple it. That amount of time. If you are good with that amount of time to reach your goals, you are going to be well ready for the ups, downs, journeys, pivots, and changes needed along the way to reach that goal. The journey is so much fun anyway. Or if it isn't, it's going to be this awful climb. Who wants that? If you are prepared for the long haul, you aren't going to give up when 6 months of effort shows 1 or 2 true fans. You'll see you have 2 fans you didn't have 6 months ago. When a system you spent 2 months learning or pouring money into doesn't work, you'll know it was part of a greater learning process. Finding what doesn't work is sometimes incredibly powerful. And finding that early is a godsend. So yeah, be in it for the long haul. Number 2, for starting a business, choose time or money. Look, building a business takes time and money. The less money you have, the more time it will take. The more time you have, the less money you'll need up front. So just keep that in mind, take inventory of your resources, and move forward accordingly. Number 3, the power in doing things yourself. I'm a firm believer in doing things yourself when you get started, especially if money is an issue. If you have the time, use the time to train yourself, to educate yourself, to build your website. So then when you have the money to hire a web designer or someone to maintain it, you know what skills you're looking for. I know the tech behind things. I know right away when a salesperson makes an offer to me, if it's worth it to me or not. Usually the answer is it isn't. My business right now is me and a dear friend who helps me with podcast editing and post-production. So I know the skills needed when I'm ready to hire out. Oh, and I have checklists and documentation ready for those new hires too. Spending my time doing that. Just ask my helper, I do. And number 4, let future you guide you. Truly so powerful. It's so easy to have shiny object syndrome as we create businesses, as we create projects. And unless you have your future self guiding you, you're just going to jump onto the next shiny object. So let future you guide you. And the last topic is life. Number 1, your GPS. So incredibly important. If I could make you understand your GPS internally like magic, I would do that. Because when you do the work to uncover the future self that inspires you, you won't need to look outside of yourself for answers. Your internal GPS will be there with you always. Always. So use her. Find her and use her. Okay? Rant over. Maybe. Number 2, slow and steady. Look, in life, the 5 years that you take to build your business, lose weight, or create something amazing seems so far away now. I know. But when you look back, you won't believe how fast the time went and how far you have come. So where do you want to be 5 years from now? You don't have to do everything overnight. Number 3, mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. You'll make more progress when you aren't afraid of them. Number 4, nature. This is personal. I love nature. Be in it as much as possible. It grounds you and rejuvenates you. And I'm ending it there because I'm off to celebrate. If you liked these and are interested in lessons learned in other areas of my life, like particular parenting areas or maybe from my homeschooling mom years, let me know. Of course, should you want to discuss any of these more with me, I invite you to join the GPS Support Flock membership program. I have a discussion space for every episode. Fly on over to youremptynestcoach.com/community to join today, or send me a private message on the socials. You'll find me at Empty Nest Coach. Message me with the words Flock membership. I'll send you the link to learn more. See you online, friend. The questions I have for you in this episode are, do any of these resonate with you? And do you have lessons learned to share with others? If you do, make sure you send it in for a quick tip. Today's quick tip has been submitted by Dale Troy. Had I been a tad more organized, I would have included her tip last week, which was on your anxiety about your child heading back to school in the fall. Dale and I are on the same page, of course. Thanks for sharing your tips with us, Dale.
This is Dale Troy. I'm a college success coach and the founder of Crush College Stress. My tip today is for your college students who are at home worrying about what college is going to be like in the fall. Some colleges have announced that they plan to reopen. Others have announced they'll continue with online classes. But many colleges haven't even communicated their plan yet. It's no surprise then that your college students are feeling anxious, disappointed, and even angry. How can you help your college students? First, give them some perspective. It's always better to focus on what you can control rather than on what you have no control over. Since reopening, continuing with online classes, or something in between is the college's decision, your college student shouldn't be spending hours complaining, or trying to figure out what will happen. It's much better to be patient, be flexible, and be resilient. Second, your college student should start thinking about what their goals are for the fall. If they're going to attend college, they need to have the right attitude. The format may not be perfect, it may not be what they expected, but they can still get a lot out of the semester. The first step is knowing what they want to accomplish, what they want to learn, and what they want to experience. If they don't have any goals, they won't be able to take full advantage of what their college does offer. And third, your college student should practice reducing their stress on a daily basis. There are many simple ways they can feel more calm and more in control. Here are some suggestions. Practice guided meditation using an app on their phone. Write in a gratitude journal 3 things they are grateful for each day. Take a walk in nature, or listen to calming music with their eyes closed. If your college student implements all 3 strategies, I'm sure they will feel a whole lot better about their situation.
Well, my empty nest CEO of your life friend, if you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe to this podcast. It is free after all. As always, I provide content to make you think. My hope is that I am able to provide you with thoughts that positively impact your life. Don't you dare let the world allow you to forget that you are amazing. See ya. If you are prepared for the long haul, I heard that P. So that, then when... Still listening? I have been continuing to educate myself on racism versus anti-racism, unlearning so many things that have been ingrained in my life over the years and doing my best to pull back the curtains on my eyes as to the privileges that I have in my life. Oh, so many. 2 powerful pieces that I've watched in recent weeks are a documentary on Netflix called The 13th. This resonates with me because there are a lot of statistics and graphs. I'm a data person. And also a TED Talk titled How to Build an Anti-Racist World. I'm continually struck by the fact that many of us look down on some of the actions of our ancestors, yet it seems these recent generations of ours have our own version of atrocities that we allow to occur. In the musical Hamilton, one of the many songs that resonates with me is History Has Its Eyes on You. And wow, does history have its eyes on us now? How can anyone doubt that? If you've never listened to the song, it's worth checking out. Links to all of these references are in the episode's show notes. What can we do? Just like figuring out our future, that answer is for each of us to figure out. I'm taking action in my sphere of influence and simmering in my great unlearn, as Rachel Cargill calls it. I also know that my greatest gift is to coach women, and that my personal power may not be in what I personally do for a movement, but in what someone I coach is able to accomplish for a movement due to the work they've done in cleaning up their thoughts and knowing who future them is. So I will continue to take action in my sphere of influence and coach, coach, coach. Thanks for listening.